It's time to do a little update on the south side of the house, which I really didn't get quite as far as I wanted to last fall. I did get fabric put down, but I never did go get the rocks to put over it. And I see I already have a little bit of weeds growing either in the fabric or through the fabric. Anyway, just as well, because we had planned to plant some roses over here. So we started off today. Wanted to plant 4 roses. I wanted to plant 2 in this center section here, and then 1 over on the end, kind of at the top of that cement slab. But I decided I had to move that one over into this vicinity because as I started digging a hole for it, this is what I found. I got about 2 or 3 inches deep and ran into thunk. And if you take a really close look at this, obviously it's yellow, it's painted. I'll give you a hint, it's metal, and it seems to be circular and have a rib on it there. Anybody guess what that is? Ding, 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 time's up. Okay, so I'm going to say it's a 50-gallon metal drum on its side. Now, why Dad planted a 50-gallon metal drum down there, I don't know. And I wish he was around that I could ask him. I think it might have had to do something with, if anybody's out there and remembers, please let me know, but for a time he was playing with the concept of solar heated water, or sort of a pre-solar water heater that would heat a tank, warm it up from ground temperature up into the maybe 80s, and then before it went into the actual water heater, it'd be heated up a little. And somewhere over in here he had trenched pipe across, and out beyond these junipers he had some panels with black hose coiled around it, and so you'd have a small pump in the basement that would pump water in and out to that. Now I don't know, maybe he was using this as sort of I have no idea if that's sealed or not, but maybe it was kind of like a thermal sponge to store some mass. I don't know. But I'll tell you what, we're not planting a rose in it. That's what I know. We're going to have some decorative rock over here or something instead. And so the rose got moved, and to be continued. And there's the other hard work we got going on today, stocking up the wood box. Some of you may remember last year that we had kind of an overgrown heather bush here, and we kind of put it out of our misery. And so this year, I mentioned we were planting roses. I have 3 more roses, and they're going to go here. But first, we are digging things out, and I want to rework that sprinkler head, because that was over the years risen and risen and risen up above the level of heather. Now I just want to kind of bring it out toward the front here and have it do the yard, and then water everything else in here with drip irrigation. So meanwhile, the ground has risen quite a bit over the level of the sidewalk, and what the plan is to come in and plant roses, and then come in and put down lava rock here for around the roses. And so be kind of a rose garden rock bed slash on out to right about here where the drain is. Well, today is March 15th, middle of March, and we're still working on this project in this back corner here, doing a little bit of plumbing, the deplorable word, and sprinkler plumbing. Actually, that's not so bad. So I decided to rework the sprinklers. Those of you who've been watching the Farm Report for a while know that line number 2 has been my nemesis. And so I thought, well, I have all this dug up here. This is the end of line number 2. and it used to end in this corner where the garden hose is laying over. And I'm changing things up a little bit, so I pulled that, put in some PVC, and was able to actually pull out the old poly pipe right from underneath the sidewalk there, and drove the PVC underneath, and I have it tied in there. There's still a little piece of poly pipe that runs from here, and it'll go over to the corner of the greenhouse, and I may work on that another day, but for now I have this section updated, and for now that's sprinkler head's just capped off until I get it all put back together and the lines blown out. And then the other thing I got going on, I got this catch basin done in here, kind of dug out around the I'm still going to move that over just to the left a little bit, and then trenched in front of the cement here a little bit, and I'm going to backfill that with little river rock that I have left over from the other French drain. I may bring it over a little further, and so far we had a heck of a rain the other night, and we did not have Lake Anderson, just this little puddle left over. So it seems to be working pretty well. Well, the last of the pruning is done. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Today is it. And things are greening up for St. Patrick's Day, definitely. So all of the vineyard and the orchard are all now done. And I did it on probably 2.5 charges on that new fancy tool. So, and as usual, if we turn around here, you can see that I have good supervision, making sure I'm not goofing off. Well, here is the pile of trimmings from the orchard and the vineyard, and it's almost as tall as I am. So we'll let that dry out for a little while, probably till early May, and then light a match to it and get it out of the way. Oh, we got breakfast going on in here, and this way we got this going on. How about that? This is where we eat our breakfast. So this is the Nantucket Inn at Lincoln City, and we've been enjoying that. Got here yesterday, and we have a little deck and a hot tub out here. All 4 of us were in there last night, under the stars, listening to the surf in the dark. Awesome. Incredible. Now today we got some light rain going on, but this is the perfect place to watch it. Brought a couple of lawn chairs in, fortunately last night, before they got wet. Beautiful morning. We do leave today, but not before enjoying this and some breakfast. The bacon is on. The Nantucket Inn, there's our place. We were right on the right-hand corner there with the bay window on the lower level. All right, we got a little driveway repair we're going to be doing here today at the farm. And it starts off with getting a little bit of gravel that's going to be spread on the road up to the barn. There we go. boy! Do we get to play now? What we're doing is scraping off a couple inches here so we can put down the new gravel and not just have it embed in the mud. So actually get the grass off, get the mud off, and kind of down to the old gravel base, hopefully. Plus it's making it nice and level for me too, taking some of the bumps out, so when we back up to the barn we're a little less likely to slip and slide. And he's taking the dirt down to Camp A and piling it down there where we're going to level out. It's going to be a little bit larger Camp A, and it's going to be a little more level than it was in the past. So here's what we have now after our driveway guy finished. Going up to the barn and on down to the main driveway. So he came in and sheared off about 2 or 3 inches of the sod on top and then put down the gravel. And the sod we had him haul down into Camp A to kind of level that out. That's always been a little bit sloped, and so we wanted a little bit larger pad for the picnic table back there. So I just had him dump it down there and run over it a few times. There goes the mama turkey. So now we have a little bit of a buildup here at Camp A. I think we could still use some leveling, and some of this will just settle in time too. I'm up in the forest on a walk today. I've been getting kind of lazy about my walks, so nice day to take one. Walking along Watkins Creek up here. You might hear it in the distance. And what do I spy down there, that little white thing? Let's go see. This is a trillium, and it's one of those sure signs that spring is here. We're ready for a little bit of an update. Last year, the sprinkler replacement project went as far as this and stopped and then tied into the old system. This year, we're replacing the rest of the old system. So we brought, there's 3 lines coming around this side of the house, over on the south side of the house. And they come around down here by the greenhouse. I have a location for a possible head there in the future. And then come down along the side of the greenhouse. And from there, you can see one line takes off in that direction. That was my old nemesis, line 2. It's even marked. And then line 1 used to come down and stop here, but I wanted to create an extension, put an extra head on it. The middle of the backyard doesn't quite get reached, so I'm going to stick a head. I usually don't like heads out in the yard, but I just don't see any other way to kind of really cover this. So we're going to try that out, and then all I have to do is plumb line 3 into this old poly. That I think has been problem free. We're just probably going to let it ride. And then this one over here that go in different directions in the backyard. So And then we got the pit over here with the head and the auto drain there in the middle. And I'll backfill that with a little bit of gravel down there around the auto drain before I put the grass back around it. Let's take a look at what the game cam turned up in the last few weeks. Looks like we had a visit from Bambi back on the 27th of March at almost 7 in the morning. Checking out the back pasture. Remember, this camera is located on the back part of the property where the logging road goes up behind us there. Most of what we get on the game cam is people walking their dogs up there. Something spooked him, ran off into the forest. And then there was this little guy. I think for some reason we should call him Chester, with that big puffy white chest. Just stay up there, Chester. Don't come down to the garden, or life could be short. And then there's the really wildlife.